Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including new leaks of Tesla's next car, new Model Y price increases, Tesla's massive data centers, and more, so let's get into it. First up today, Tesla continues to improve their vehicles with over-the-air software updates. In an upcoming update, Tesla will be introducing restricted driver profiles in order to improve safety for teen drivers. Tesla hacker Green found this change, as well as a ton of other new features, in software version 2024.14.3. This restricted profile is similar to the existing valet mode available already, which restricts the vehicle's top speed, limits acceleration, disables FSD and autopilot, and turns off GPS history. Turning on these restricted profiles will allow you to pick and choose exactly what features you want to turn on for that specific driver. While active, the phrase training wheels will display next to the driver profile, indicating that restrictions are active. If you have an inexperienced driver, this should be a good way to make sure that they can drive your car if necessary, without using its full capabilities before they're ready. At the same time, Elon announced that FSD version 12.4 has already begun rolling out to employees and will shortly arrive on customer vehicles. This particular update is already being discussed as a major step forward for the software, with some publications claiming it as big of a jump as the one between version 11 and version 12. Elon has given us some insight into the features of this upcoming release, and it seems to be focused around improving user comfort. The software has been tuned to reduce hard accelerations and braking, and will supposedly have a 5x to 10x improvement in miles per intervention. If that's true, that should do a ton for the overall usability of FSD, if it rarely requires you to take over. This update will also see the removal of the infamous steering wheel nag, which has been there for years. Since your hands are supposed to be constantly on the wheel while FSD or autopilot is engaged, Tesla implemented a system a long time ago to check by tugging on the steering wheel to sense for any resistance from your hands. This update has removed the need for that steering wheel nag by improving the reliability of the internal driver monitoring system. Tesla says in the release notes, quote, "This enhancement is available on vehicles equipped with a cabin camera, and only when the cabin camera has clear and continuous visibility of the driver's eyes. For example, the camera is not occluded, there is sufficient cabin illumination, and the driver is looking forward at the road ahead and not wearing sunglasses, a hat with a low brim, or other objects covering the eyes." Wearing sunglasses was an infamously easy way to get around these driver monitoring systems, and it seems like Tesla has removed that. I definitely understand why they've done that, but there are a lot of people who drive with sunglasses, and not being able to wear them just because you're using FSD is probably going to be a bit frustrating, especially at first. Along with those improvements to driver monitoring, Tesla is also rolling out an updated version of their strike system. Currently, your FSD-equipped vehicle will give you a strike if it detects you aren't paying adequate enough attention while supervising the car. Cabin camera-equipped vehicles will give you 5 strikes, and after that, FSD will be temporarily disabled for 1 week. In the previous system, strikes would only eventually be removed after getting 5 total strikes or during one of Tesla's biannual strike removals. Now the new system will gradually remove strikes if it has been a while since you received the last one. For every 7 days that you go without receiving a strike, you will have one deducted from your running total. As for these features, we're not entirely sure if they'll be coming with this new update, but Elon has promised a few auto park related features that should be coming very soon. First is the option to have your FSD-equipped car begin automatically searching for a spot and parking itself after it has completed navigation to your destination. Second, you may be able to use the long-awaited banish feature, which Elon has been promising for a while now. This feature should allow you to exit your vehicle and have the car park itself for you. These features would be really great to have implemented, as it would bring us one step closer to the dream of a fully autonomous driving experience. In the recently released spring update, or version 2014.14, we saw the arrival of auto shifting on the Model S and X. This user has posted a great video showing off just how easy and seamless the experience is of using this feature. As the driver is reversing, a prompt appears on the instrument cluster, telling the driver to turn the wheel and hit their brake to engage auto shift. Green check marks will subsequently appear to show you've completed the move. When in motion, this move is really smooth, and this seems like a really cool added functionality. This feature is expected to arrive soon on the new Model 3 Performance, a vehicle which, like the Model S, has no gear shifting stock, but hopefully it will come to all Model 3s as well. While the Model S and X have both received that new feature, newly produced models of both of those cars will be losing a feature that Tesla had previously been very gung-ho about. Back in 2022, Tesla added native support for the Steam app, the leading PC game store and launcher, to both the S and X. Tesla was making a big push towards game integration in their cars, with a lot of reports that their cars were as powerful as a PS5. Well, as of a few days ago, Tesla has stopped offering Steam on newly built vehicles. No other infotainment features have been removed, and it sounds like this doesn't impact existing owners, but still this is a big shift for the company. This was a big feature touted for a long time, and now they're just taking it away. Tesla has removed entertainment features from their cars before, and while this functionality was cool, I ultimately don't think it will impact too many people, and that's likely why they're cutting it. Next up today, Tesla has been giving us a lot of hints about what's coming up from them in the near future, and it's pretty exciting. The next Tesla car to be released, if all goes according to plan, will be Tesla's own dedicated robotaxi. If something doesn't work out for that vehicle, like FSD delays related to function or regulatory approval, then we could instead see this car shift into something slightly different, or see an altered version of their current cars come to market at a cheaper price. In any case, what is on their mind for the future is the idea that making great cars only grows the company so much. Solving self-driving and creating dedicated robotaxis is what takes them to the next level because it completely transforms transportation. As such, we're seeing a number of hints of Tesla's upcoming Cybercab or robotaxi. Tesla posted a video about shareholder voting, and within it are a couple big teasers. First, we see some images of what could absolutely be the robotaxi's interior. That's Tesla's chief designer, Franz von Holzhausen, on the left, and then we can see what appear to be the front seats. They have a very specific bench-like design, with a fold-down armrest, center screen, and nothing else. Even with the shape of the screen alone, we can see it has that cyber design language like the Cybertruck. This could very well be a two-seater vehicle as well, and that seems somewhat confirmed by this image that we see from Tesla in this video. This is a very early stage mock-up of the robotaxi that matches what was unveiled in Elon Musk's biography. Here, though, we can see that front bench-like seat, along with an illustration of how the passenger sits. This really showcases how small this dedicated vehicle will be. One interesting thing pointed out by James Almeida is how the cameras we saw Tesla testing on a Model 3 last week seem to match the design of the robotaxi. This is what we absolutely expected. That Tesla was testing these new camera positions because they represent where cameras will be on their upcoming robotaxi. But the camera in the rear window of the Model 3 looks like it would fill that space right behind the headrest on the robotaxi. Definitely some interesting speculation since we saw these images in Elon's biography, but we assumed that they were just super early mock-ups. Nothing would actually come to be. Here, though, it seems this could very much be in line with what comes through. If we look behind the Tesla engineers in these photos as well and zoom in super far, we can see a couple things. On the wall behind the car, it says NV93 Vehicle Package Side View. The NV9 was reportedly the code name for the $25,000 EV that Tesla has somewhat put on the back burner, so this here is the NV93. Behind this employee, though, there appear to be more renders of this car. Many aren't talking about this, but I think this image right here shows the butterfly-style door open on the robotaxi. This very much falls in line with the early concept renders of this robotaxi. Clearly, this is a very purpose-built vehicle that is also a two-seater, and another close-up in the video showed a sneak peek at part of this car. It's hard to tell exactly which part of the Cybercab this is, likely the lip, but this definitely isn't the Cybertruck. Still, it has a black bumper, along with what seems to be a stainless steel body with harsh lines. Other leaked or at least very blurry distant renders of this car in the past show it with much more of an angular design than we're seeing here, so it could be that they go much more angular like the Cybertruck instead of round. It also may be what's required if they are using similar build techniques with stainless steel as this image shows. The last piece here that Tesla demoed a bit in this video is their ride-hailing app. They've shown images of this before, but here is an actual interactive demo of what this will look like. Essentially, it's their version of Uber, but with robo-taxis that should be able to handle any situation. It's a cool thing to see demoed here, but doesn't really give us much insight into the future there. Ultimately, things could change. This is a combination of speculation and leaks, but it could very well be close to what Tesla shows us on August 8th. This product is especially interesting for Tesla. In 2019, Tesla unveiled the Cybertruck, and it took them over 4 years to release it. The robotaxi, on the other hand, should, in theory, be an easier vehicle for them to produce, but it's entirely reliant on full self-driving software being achieved. Hopefully we'll get some more details about all of this on August 8th, but it could be some time before what they show us actually comes to market. Next up today, in the wake of the new Model 3's release earlier this year, we've all been eagerly awaiting word on any similar refreshes coming to the Model Y. The Model 3 included a ton of really exciting improvements over its predecessor, which Tesla will surely want to bring over to their most popular vehicle. We haven't gotten much word on that refresh, and it's likely going to be a while before we do, but Tesla does have some cool improvements coming very soon to the Model Y. Soon after the refreshed Model 3 was originally released last year in China, Tesla introduced a slightly updated Model Y to that market. This updated vehicle brought over some of the Model 3's design changes, like the front LED light strip, woven fabric accents throughout the interior, and a new wheel design. Tesla got rid of the previous silver and gray 19-inch Gemini wheel covers and replaced them with sleek black and dark gray covers that they called Metallic Shadow. These wheel covers and other features are pretty cool looking, and while they're not a total replacement for a refresh, they're still a cool addition to help keep this car feeling new. Now, over 9 months after this vehicle's update in China, we could be seeing them come to North America very soon. Recently, some Model Ys were spotted being transported out of Fremont with some conspicuously different wheels. While Tesla doesn't transport their cars with the wheel covers on, these updated Model Ys have darker wheels to match the color of the updated wheel covers. These wheel covers haven't been officially announced in North America yet, but you can add them to your vehicle's avatar, and they do appear in the service menu, so it does seem like they could be coming very soon. We also don't have any confirmation on whether any of the other updates to the car's interior will be arriving in North America at the same time. Like I said, these aren't groundbreaking updates by any means, but they are still cool features to have. It would be nice for new Model Y customers to get the most modern feeling version of this car, especially since a full refresh might still be a ways off. While I do love my Model Y, since getting my new Model 3, I can't deny the Model Y is starting to feel a bit old in comparison, even though it's undoubtedly still a very great and high-tech vehicle. I do hope that Tesla is able to bring out that refreshed version sooner rather than later, as there are so many great features from the Model 3 that would be great on the Model Y. Next up today, the Model Y has just seen another price increase for many customers. Again, this one is somewhat hidden, but it comes after the Model Y's price dropped massively around a week ago for most customers. Tesla introduced a new 0.99% financing option, down from the 6.49% it was at. Essentially, this lowered the monthly payment of a Model Y for many customers by about $100 a month. That is a huge proposition and brought this car under $600 a month prior to any tax credits. This was reportedly an increasingly popular incentive for the Model Y, and as such, it is already gone for certain options. Tesla has now increased 72-month loan rates up to 1.99%. This is still a really great deal over 6.49%, which is what it will likely return to in June, but it's not as good as the previous 0.99%. Worth noting that 0.99% is still available if you choose a loan term shorter than 72 months. So if you can swing it, a 60-month loan at 0.99% is still available for a Model Y, which could be a great option for you. Either way, it still makes for a great time to buy a Tesla. Something like a $1,000 discount on the car is cool, but if you're financing, over 4% off on the interest rate makes a much bigger difference over the course of the loan. The Model 3 long range and Model Y long range are a $200 difference in price, so they're pretty easy to compare here, and it represents this APR difference quite well. A long-range Model 3 would be $752 a month at current loan rates, whereas a long-range Model Y is $662 a month, $90 less per month, and that's prior to any tax credit savings, which many qualify for. If you're in the market, it's definitely a good time to check into these rates. They'll likely save you more than any price drop or end-of-quarter incentive we'll see for quite some time. Next up today, while Tesla is best known for their fleet of electric vehicles, their innovations in AI supercomputers make them one of the most exciting tech companies out there. Between their proprietary Dojo chips and their NVIDIA-based supercomputer clusters, Tesla has been rapidly expanding their available compute power for a while now. These computers power the AI training systems that run their FSD and robotics programs and are improving and expanding all the time. For example, over at Giga Texas, Tesla is very deep into construction of a major expansion to that factory. Responding to a photo of the factory on X, Elon said, quote, "The rear portion of the factory, the part furthest away from the glass, will be a super dense, water-cooled supercomputer cluster." After an internal reshuffling of priorities, Elon has been pushing for the rapid construction and deployment of this facility in particular. They're reportedly hoping to have it online by sometime in August, and it will presumably play a big role in their continual training of their upcoming Tesla Robotaxi project. Tesla is betting big on autonomy and the robotaxi, so this data center will be instrumental to its success. On the other side of the world, Tesla is making some big moves towards getting FSD fully approved and operating on Chinese roads. According to Reuters, Tesla is in the early stages of building a dedicated FSD training center to operate in China. The company has been deep in negotiations for a while now to allow FSD on Chinese roads, and while they have made a lot of progress recently, the deal is far from closed. The longest standing issue around the software is a reluctance of the Chinese government to allow the export of driving data out of the country back into the US. Very recently, it was announced that Tesla had received a conditional approval to deploy FSD in China, but that seems to have come with some big provisions. In order to appease government data safety concerns, Tesla will be building a dedicated FSD facility to handle Chinese driving data. China is a huge market, and it will take a lot of computing power to handle all of the new variables introduced by driving on their roads exclusively. Since data privacy seems to be at the root of this whole situation, I'm very curious to see how much development of FSD in the US and China will be tied together. Since these AI systems completely rely on real-world data, having more data from China would theoretically speed up the whole training process and overall quality. But if that data can't leave China, could that create some kind of a gap between FSD and these different markets? We'll have to see how this deal continues to shape up and find out. Overall, Tesla's FSD technology seems to have become perhaps the most important product that Tesla is working on right now. If they want to succeed, then investing heavily into their supercomputer development is the key to doing so. FSD really has been improving rapidly lately, and I can't wait to see how things grow from here as they acquire more data and expand their computing power even further. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see a breakdown of Tesla's energy products and their competition, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.